Blessings. Do you know what one of the strangest reasonings are? When you tell fellow Aboriginals that they are Aboriginals, original people, these individuals start up the most dishonorable, disrespectful reasoning, trying to use all manner of intellectual connoted discourse to try to discourage the actual truth of things. So this video is to simply bring some clarity to a lot of disparity when you post about things of our Aboriginal status in the Americas. So there is American natives and Native Americans. So you're saying, Great Owl, what is the difference? I'm telling you, I'm going to explain what is the difference. So American natives are Paleolithic people. Native Americans are Neolithic people. That's a difference of maybe 50,000, 10,000, or maybe even as much as 100,000 years differential between, hey, the Paleolithic people and the Neolithic people. So why is this very important? Well, it is very important because the original man and woman of the Americas, the Amaru Indians, right? The Indians, right? The copper-colored, blue-black, original man of creation and woman of creations have been here from the Paleolithic times on this plane. And then in the Neolithic period after the Ice Age, then came the Siberians, Mongolians over here, the Native Americans who have been in the Americas long enough now to have assimilated into the ancient American native culture, right? So what is the differential between these two individuals and their claim upon the plane? Well, one was supported by the invaders who came from Europe, and the other were marginalized and forced to give up their native American and their American native status to become black, coloreds, and African Americans. So there are very few groups on the American native side and on the native side that has remained untouched, hallelujah, by the hands of the Europeans to how the corporationist system and the invader system was structured in America. So in the Caribbean, same issue happened to us. So the culture of who is called Native Americans are not their culture. So you would say, how do we substantiate that? Well, before we even get to that, let's go deeper. When the research was done as to the oldest human remains found in the Americas, well, it was undoubtedly the American native, miscalled Negroes, not Negroid or Negro-like, but Negroes, the bluest of the black, the blackest of the black, are the original people. And when the genetic research was done into the blood work, it proves that they only correlate with the haplogroups of the other aboriginals in Australia, the Andaman Island, the oldest known people upon the, hallelujah, upon the planet. So we, the blue black, the copper color, yellow, Amur Indian, man and woman, share the same haplogroup as the original beings upon the planet, as the other aboriginal nations. So while we are stratified as Swarti, Negaru, black, and whatever other tonalities the connotated information from the invaders are projecting onto us, the aboriginal status and our nation states as Moabites, Moors, Canaanites, Tainos, and it goes on. It goes on because there are several nations, though a lot of us were vassal states of Moro, Ethiopia, the ancient empires. Because remember, the Moorish Empire stretched all of Africa to the Americas, and this was still after post-Neolithic period. We're talking about Paleolithic period, original man, the time when you had the pyramids in the world. Americas had the most pyramids. The Nephilim culture was wrought in the Americas. So the geographic location of the old world is the Americas. But because some information is too hard for people to process, because the invaders have given us invader status, mercantile status, law of the sea status, we forgot the law of the land. Matter of fact, we've forgotten our culture. And we think when we're talking about our ancestors, we're talking about devils and demons or ancestral worship. So many of you out there are demonizing your own ancestries because you're under Contel Pro. You're under the currents of Rome. And we know that. So it's not even like I'm starting an argument. So those disingenuous reasonings that they bring about is because they are trying to deflect, distract, and distort the truth because they have been paid to do it. Anyway, the final issue of now of the Native Americans' culture not being their own, that it started in the American natives, the so-called miscalled black man and woman, you would have to see correlation. The Native American culture doesn't correlate to the Inuits in Patagonia or any other place they find themselves, or in Siberia or in Asia Minor. There's nothing that correlates the culture. There's nothing that correlates the culture. They have got the right blood work that they are from those people, but it doesn't correlate in the blood work and it doesn't correlate in the culture. So where does that culture correlation? Where is it? Well, it's in Africa, because remember the earth was one land mass, and because it was one land mass, we were all on the same space and plane, having our differential, influenced experience. So we all influenced each other because we had nation states, we had a monetary system, we had a system of value and exchange, we had a system of governance and moral and human and international law long before the Magna Carta. So the culture of the so-called Native Americans, right, came from the American natives, because for millennia before that, that's how we have been, that's how we developed. We're the oldest men and women on the planet, man and woman, the oldest hominids on the planet. And if you study the ontological, etymological root and origin of languages, you'll see that. So, before we get too confused, American natives, I and I, Empress and Queen and I generation, I and I. Native Americans, the Siberian Mongolites came after the Ice Age. Yeah, they are immigrants. First immigrants, right, to the Americas. Yeah, and I see them come here. It's right. So love, light, and blessing to all those who are proud in their Aboriginal status. Some working through the legal means, through the court systems, to recover our estates and our rights as living beings. So no one can define us for us. You have to know yourself for yourself. And that's where actuality of information, denotation, which is the actual information, not opinion, not belief, not connotation. Yeah, and remember we were subjugated and conquered, so we were taught the information of the invader, so they subjugated us. 3/5 human, don't forget. So the subjugation has caused us to have to battle through information to regain the through our true place amongst the stars and amongst our fellow human. Aboriginal, original, love and blessings. Until next time, this has been the Great Owl, yeah? Jerome Sage Butler, that's my straw man, yeah? Reasonings, right here, at the Tree of Life. You're just leveling, yeah, the playing field on the platform and giving true information on origins and being. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing to the Tree of Life experience right here on Ancila Media, and watch the videos and share them and recommend them. Yeah, and support the Wizio.com. Yeah, I'm gotta say the people have been very good in supporting Wizio.com / Tree of Life Television Network therapy sessions. Keep it coming. Or retreat and Tree of Life tours. Keep it coming. Interest has been good. Love, light, and blessing my original, aboriginal peoples of the earth. Love and light. Yeshua Mashiach be praised. Glory.